drove in here with my team from Pennsylvania yesterday. Just love that LIE on a Friday in rush hour. Yeah, it hasn't changed in the 20 years since I left New York City. We're not here to diagnose or treat or cure. We're here to help you diagnose, treat, and cure yourself, basically. Okay? Feel free to take pictures of any of these slides. I'm a quantum metaphysician and a research scientist, so there'll be a lot of science in here. I teach, so I'm a teacher. Actually, I went to school to be a teacher, so that's our disclaimer. So who am I? Okay, I had a lot of people say you've lived many lives within this one life. And I did. I go to college to be a teacher, and I came to New York. I taught for about a year, and then I was discovered while I was working on a summer job to support my meager teacher salary back in the 80s. And I was working for a civil engineer, and we were doing a renovation for a woman at her house who happened to be a television commercial producer. At the time I was 24, she put me in my first national commercial, which was the Bedazzler. Anybody remembers the original Bedazzler girl? That was me. I was the good one. They had a before and after, so that was me. And what's the first thing you do when you hurt yourself? Ow! You yell out a sound. Sound is the first thing our body does to heal. You know, some people say, I grab my arm. Well, you don't always. Pets, if your pet yells out a sound, they don't have a hand to grab themselves, right? When you let out a sound, chemicals are released immediately in your body to tell it what to do to help to start healing yourself. Sound is the very first thing we do to start to heal. So Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets to the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Well, sound is all of that. So Einstein came along, and actually prior to him, Max Planck. And he said, on such things as matter, we've all been wrong. Okay, what we have called matter is just energy whose vibrations have been lowered to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter. But what happens if we can raise our vibrations? So everything is energy, and matter is just the simple lowest form of that. We're frozen energy. We're bodies of light. We're truly bodies of light. When there's something that manifests in your body, it's a block within the energy system that then manifests in what we call dis-ease in the body. So what would happen if we can break up those blocks? Well, then we can set ourselves up for that natural healing. But then prior to the 17th century, we used to tune our musical instruments to something called just intonation. There are a couple of theories of thought on why they changed in the West. So in the West, that's Europe and America, okay? Why we went from just intonation in our music to something now that we do called 12-tone equal temperament. So we also lost a lot of our microtones and overtones, and that's what you'll hear with a good singing bowl and things like that, those microtones and overtones. Is anyone familiar with Dr. Masaru Emoto? He died in 2006, unfortunately, but he did these amazing water crystal experiments. So what he would do is, he and other researchers, they would take water and they would freeze it, and then they would put it under a microscope, but they would first treat the water to something. So in this case, since we're talking sound and music, they had water, which they played Beethoven to it, they played Mozart to it, they played Bach to it. Now these were all composers who still worked in just intonation. There are classical composers after them who started using 12-tone equal temperament. But now here, this is Elvis. Now we love this stuff because this is what we know, we grew up with, and we're comfortable. This is what they did when they froze water to Elvis: Japanese pop and heavy metal. A real big difference in frequency. Think about it. What are we mostly? Water. We're mostly water. And our cells are surrounded in a fluid, okay? It's a saline fluid, water. And they found that the more pressure points you put on those cells, those pressure points turn on switches in your DNA. What we found is there's a myriad of benefits that come from this. Number one, and we heard about this earlier, 95% of all doctor-related visits are stress-related. So the number one thing the medical community, the allopathic traditional medical community will agree with sound therapy is it reduces stress. They are now using it for pre, during, and post-surgical methods. Just make sure the sounds you're pumping in for your surgery are the right sounds.